Beijing subway commuter attacked by foreigners, echoing the current state of China. Foreign band refuses winter outdoor performance, Chongqing SWAT suppresses audience. China Fujian reports earthquake, mainland network, feels like house is sinking. China faces economic downturn, rising youth unemployment, and increasing anti-communist sentiments. Insulting Xi becomes a trend, rumors say Beijing sets up a Protect Xi task force. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Beijing subway commuter attacked by foreigners, echoing the current state of China. Recently, a video depicting a foreigner assaulting a Chinese man on the Beijing subway has ignited fervent discussions, with some commentators suggesting that it mirrors the current state of China. The online footage revealed a scene on Beijing subway line 4, where a foreign man wearing glasses and a mask sat peacefully reading a book. A drunken Chinese man approached him and began harassing him. Initially, the foreign man attempted to ignore the disturbance and relocated to a seat across from him. Surprisingly, the inebriated individual persisted in harassing him. The drunkard hurled provocative insults at the foreigner, branding him as stupid. The foreign man, appearing helpless, shook his head. After a few moments, the inebriated Chinese man mumbled something and spat on the foreigner's book. The foreign man, visibly irritated, set aside his book, wiped his hands, and confronted the drunkard. Undeterred, the drunk man challenged him to exit the train for a physical altercation. Ignoring the provocation, the foreign man was spat at once again. Unable to tolerate the escalating aggression, the foreign man pushed the Chinese drunkard away. In response, the inebriated man spat at him for the third time. Exasperated, the foreign man struck him with his book. The drunk Chinese man attempted to retaliate, but the foreigner finally stood up and delivered a forceful punch. The rapid and forceful uppercuts left the drunk Chinese man incapacitated. Fellow Chinese passengers had already distanced themselves, refraining from intervening. After enduring several blows, the Chinese drunkard bowed his head, extending his hand in a plea for mercy. As the subway reached its station, the door opened, and the foreign man seized the Chinese drunkard by the collar, pushing him out and concluding the bizarre altercation. Although the video depicting a Chinese man repeatedly provoking a foreigner garnered widespread attention and ignited passionate debates, it was swiftly removed from the internet. Many Chinese netizens sided with the foreign man, expressing sentiments like, "He deserved it. Well done," and "This foreigner displayed remarkable restraint. I wouldn't have been able to endure it for so long." Some even asserted that such individuals deserved a lesson to prevent tarnishing the reputation of the Chinese people. Netizen the very serious Zhang Momo remarked that this incident symbolizes China today. He observed a person who, having endured provocation, finally retaliated decisively and forcefully punched the aggressor. The arrogant instigator, once beaten, promptly surrendered and begged for mercy. Zhang Momo drew parallels between this sequence and the Chinese Communist Party's current actions on the international stage, portraying them as arrogant, weak, and repeatedly inviting backlash. He stated that this is very similar to the current experience of the Chinese Communist Party provoking the international community. "You know you are not clear-headed, but you still call people stupid. You know you are so weak, and you still want to fight with people. You know you are so incompetent, and you think you are invincible." Repeatedly. He repeatedly invited others to beat him up and humiliated himself over and over again. "I don't know where the confidence came from," he said. "This is really a symbolic event. Very symbolic, very appropriate." Foreign band refuses winter outdoor performance, Chongqing SWAT suppresses audience. Recent reports from mainland social media indicate that the Chongqing Municipal Culture and Tourism Development Commission extensively promoted the New Year's concert scheduled for the evening of December 31st. However, upon the arrival of the Austrian Vienna Sound Symphony Orchestra, slated to perform that night, they discovered that the venue was an open-air theater. Due to the extreme cold, the orchestra promptly canceled the performance, leaving hundreds of attendees waiting in the chilly wind for several hours. Authorities responded by deploying a large contingent of armed police to prevent ticket-holding spectators from protesting. According to on-site netizens, some audience members were later relocated to another theater. Unfortunately, this alternative venue lacked heating, and essential elements such as lighting and sound were unprepared, rendering the performance impossible. As per previous advertisements by Chongqing authorities, 2 performances were scheduled at 19:30 and 22:30, with ticket prices ranging from 280 renminbi, approximately $40 to 1,280 renminbi, approximately $180. The chosen venue was the Chongqing Industrial Museum Gray Space. It's worth noting that the Chongqing Industrial Museum was reconstructed from the remnants of a local steel plant, and the gray space refers to the atrium hall of the original plant, an open area with only structural frameworks. Netizens mocked this incident as the biggest scam in Chongqing on that particular day. Chongqing officials claim that the Austrian Vienna Sound Symphony Orchestra is one of the outstanding orchestras affiliated with the Vienna Musikverein, certified by the Embassy of the Communist Party of China in Austria. The orchestra had previously performed on the Beijing City Hall stage for 8 consecutive years, as reported by Xinhua News Agency in 2013. On the Mainland Zhihu website, some netizens once inquired about the orchestra's caliber. Replies from netizens suggested that the orchestra's skill level is average, and they merely come to China at a fixed time to make money. China Fujian reports earthquake, mainland network, feels like house is sinking. On the 1st of January, a powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 7.6 struck the Noto region of Ishikawa Prefecture, Japan, resulting in over 50 casualties and numerous subsequent disasters. Late in the night on the 2nd, there was a noticeable earthquake off the coast of Taitung, Taiwan, with a Richter magnitude of 4.3. On the 3rd, there are reports of yet another earthquake in Fujian, China, causing anxiety among many netizens. According to the China Earthquake Networks, at 18:08 this evening in Huan County, Zhangzhou City, Fujian Province, 24.76 degrees north latitude, 117.29 degrees east longitude, a magnitude 3.5 earthquake occurred at a depth of 13 kilometers. Currently, cities in Fujian Province such as Xiamen, Jinjiang, and Quanzhou have reported feeling the tremors. Following the earthquake, Chinese netizens expressed their fear online. What's happening? Did the earth switch to vibration mode? Sitting on the couch, it feels like the house sank for a moment. Why are there so many earthquakes this year? Scared. Earthquakes have been a bit frequent lately. Wishing everyone safety. China faces economic downturn, rising youth unemployment, and increasing anti-communist sentiments. Entering 2024, economists predict that as more businesses relocate overseas, China's economy will continue to decline, triggering a larger wave of unemployment. Li Jianping, former Beijing lawyer and president of the Alliance Canada, Xi Jinping's policies in recent years, his wolf warrior diplomacy, his approach of national progress, people's decline, and his dynamic zero-COVID measures have led the entire Western world to avoid investing in China and reluctant to engage with China. Domestic private enterprises are also reluctant to expand their investments easily. After the restructuring and relocation of supply chains, a significant reduction in foreign investment and exports will inevitably lead to a contraction of the domestic manufacturing industry. Because without investment and exports, or a sharp decline in investment and exports, a large amount of production capacity will be idle, leading to a massive wave of unemployment. In August of last year, China's National Bureau of Statistics stopped releasing youth unemployment data. The last available data from June of the same year showed that the youth unemployment rate for those aged 16 to 24 was 21.3%, setting a historical record. The actual situation is believed to be even worse. The expansion of the unemployment wave has fueled public discontent. Feng Chongyi, associate professor at the University of Technology Sydney, because of the economic winter and the precipitous recession of the entire economy, it has deeply harmed the livelihood of the Chinese people. Especially for these netizens, the young people, their accumulated grievances from unemployment, wage cuts, and inability to find jobs will accumulate. During the pandemic, many young people had no economic source and had to choose between living with their parents or becoming full-time children. Feng Chongyi, after the lockdown ends, with no economic recovery and their original savings depleted, they just want to lie down but can't. At this time, different forms of resistance from the public will unfold. Last year, waves of rights protests erupted across the country. The China Labor Bulletin in Hong Kong reported that in less than 6 months in the second half of last year, there were 1,178 recorded rights incidents. The true number is unknown. Li Jianping, so many people are laid off, so many people are unemployed, unable to maintain a normal life, unable to support their families, unable to send their children to school, normal daily life, medical treatment, or even many people are unable to repay their mortgages. So, many people are now facing an extreme state of extreme poverty. These people can only stand up to defend their legitimate rights. The white paper revolution that erupted at the end of 2022 saw people directly calling for the downfall of the Communist Party and Xi Jinping stepping down. Now, with a renewed outbreak of the pandemic in China, experts believe that as the economic decline continues, issues related to people's livelihoods will worsen, leading to a surge in societal resistance, directly challenging the communist regime. Feng Chongqing, if such a color revolution happens again, the Communist Party will be overthrown, and the goal of overthrowing Xi and the Communist Party will be achieved. Insulting Xi becomes a trend. Rumors say Beijing sets up a Protect Xi task force. In recent years, CCP leader Xi Jinping has become a frequent target of sarcasm, criticism, and open ridicule, both domestically and internationally. This has reportedly led to severe responses from the authorities. A noteworthy development is an anonymous disclosure to the Epoch Times about the existence of a dedicated team in Beijing, known as the Special Team, focused solely on safeguarding Xi Jinping's image. Described as a unique administrative structure within the CCP, akin to a cross-departmental working group, official CCP media portray it as being formed specifically to handle particular tasks. Although the Epoch Times cannot independently verify the existence of this Xi protection special team, other sources seemingly support these claims. Chen Ximing, an exiled dissident in Canada, observed on January 2 that criticizing the CCP or government officials in China was not as severe as criticizing Xi Jinping, which would prompt an immediate and strong reaction from public security officials who would actively seek out the critic. On January 4, Chinese scholar Li Hengqin conveyed to the Epoch Times that, while unaware of any specific team for maintaining Xi's image, protecting it remains a critical focus for CCP senior officials. Since Xi's rise to power, there has been an increased emphasis on ideological alignment with him, particularly through the promotion of the two upholds, which involves supporting Xi Jinping. Li Hengqin pointed out that the two establishes, introduced later, were aimed at confirming Xi as the CCP's core leader and enforcing the guiding role of Xi Jinping thought, now frequently reiterated by officials. He commented on the excessive flattery and embellishment of Xi's image as embarrassing, especially considering Xi's age, and suggested that the push for the two establishes might be more about fear of being liquidated after stepping down than genuine support. Concerning the authorities viewing anti-Xi sentiment as more serious than anti-CCP sentiment, Li Hengqin believes that this reflects the majority of Chinese people's desire for Xi to step down, which could herald change in China. But we must realize that the Communist Party must also step down. China will be better without the Communist Party. He said, Xi Jinping is also a product of this system. Without changing the system, even if Xi steps down, the next leader could just be another Jinping, be it Zhang Jinping, Li Jinping, or Wang Jinping. Analysis: mocking and insulting Xi becomes common, Xi facing unprecedented crisis. Xi Jinping, since his ascent to power, has enforced a ban on irresponsible discussion of the central government within official circles. The CCP has also revised its disciplinary regulations, colloquially known as gang rules, to include provisions against party members reading banned books. Engaging with materials that carry serious political issues could lead to expulsion from the party and removal from official positions. These serious political issues predominantly revolve around actions deemed to uglify the party and national image, or slander and libel party and national leaders. Ren Jiqiang, a well-known real estate businessman, was arrested in 2020 for deriding Xi Jinping as a clown who insists on being an emperor even without clothes. Similarly, Hu Shuli, the founder of Caixin Media, who recently faced a suspected anti-Xi incident leading to the deletion of her articles and Weibo account, had previously subtly mocked Xi, referring to him as a pig head. the CCP's sensitivity to online discourse about Xi Jinping has now reached unprecedented levels. A leak from a domestic website revealed a database containing at least 2,000 sensitive words directly associated with Xi Jinping. The term insulting the bag has become a widely recognized political meme, particularly prevalent outside the Great Firewall, with numerous works mocking, satirizing, and insulting Xi Jinping. During Halloween last year, some young people in Shanghai dressed as Winnie the Pooh and Emperor Xi, with some even wearing models of surveillance cameras on their heads to mock the extensive surveillance system. These actions reportedly led to repercussions from the CCP government. In March of the previous year, Radio Free Asia reported that Ning Ning, a Chinese American, received a late-night call from his family in China. His father inquired about a petition on the American site change.org, supporting Chinese dissidents, questioning whether Ning Ning initiated it. Ning Ning later revealed that the petition, which included criticism of Xi Jinping, was considered a major national security event. Lai Jianping, a former Beijing lawyer and chairman of the Canadian Federation for a Democratic China, told the Epoch Times on January 3 that all modern autocratic rulers need to glamorize themselves and create legitimacy, while using so-called laws to attack anyone who is detrimental to their image. Therefore, he must have a group of eunuch-like people to do this job. He also knows that few people inside and outside the party, domestically and internationally, truly obey him. Lai Jianping believes that the trend of mocking and insulting Xi both domestically and internationally indicates that Xi Jinping has reached the point where he must rely on strong mechanisms, like special teams, to protect his image, showing that his governance is facing an unprecedented crisis. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.